Welcome back to the baseline. And today, guys, we're going over a couple of things. A couple of things I missed last week. I didn't really quite talk about. I kind of want to get my opinion on that. And then looking at forward to this week, kind of change it up. But I want to talk about a couple of things of the news that happened last week that I didn't put in last week's pod, which was Brendan Hyde of the Baltimore Orioles had been fired. So this is the third firing we've got in many weeks. I just think it's insane and it's kind of ridiculous that they're all firing these managers who are not at fault. At least to me, they're not at fault at all. Brendan Hyde, the Baltimore Orioles are 18-34 as we enter today. Um, Probably one of the worst teams that I've have seen in a very, very long time. Um, I mean, this team is just that they're terrible, and they knew what they were doing. They're 22nd in batting average. They are well, they're 10th in home runs, so they got that. But I think even the pitching. Oh, I gotta see the pairs. um, the pitching, they're 29th ahead of Colorado. They innings pitched, they're 28th. They're if you're interested in the sabermetrics, their WHIP, they're 27th. They are a terrible team. It's not processing to me why they thought the moves they did was going to work. Uh, you made a big trade for Sir Anthony Dominguez. He's got an ERA of 6. You brought in Charlie Morton, who has an ERA of almost 8 this year. And I want to say I don't think he was really good last year. He had an ERA of 4, almost 5 last year. You you brought in Tyler O'Neill. He's hurt. You brought in I can't blame Gunnar Henderson. He's actually started late. Uh, we have Adley Rutschman, who's trying to find his swing. He's batting 211, and they think they're still going to win. Um, they're not. They're not going to win. Not with this team. They need to. I get what you're trying to do, and you have the whole um, your core, Rutschman, Henderson. Uh, you want to keep those guys locked in your farm system for a while, but they're not. But you gotta add on to that. Like the Yankees, they added on when they had Jeter and Pettit and Mo and Posada. You're not adding big names to this franchise to compete with the Yankees, to compete with the Red Sox, Tampa, Toronto. I understand Toronto's kind of doing the same thing. They're kind of similar boat, but they added on. You had an offer to bring back Santander. He's not back. So something's got to get done with Baltimore. All these guys can't keep taking the blame. either add more money, be competitive, or you're going to lose all these big name guys. It's the same thing with Pittsburgh we talked about. The same thing with Colorado. You're going to lose a bunch of guys sooner rather than later when it comes to trying to compete. It's just going to happen because you got, you know, usually when a shortstop plays, they usually could play second base. A lot of people are going to be looking at Gunnar Henderson. There's going to be some people who need a catcher. They'll probably take Rutschman. Mullins is a free agent this year. You need something, and I really hate that all these guys that you put on are like you just trust them. The Sugano. I mean, yeah, he's not that bad, but this is the first time I've heard about him. I hadn't even heard about him when he was in Japan. They, but they had to do something, and it's kind of, to me, it's not that good. Um, let's take a look at the week ahead. Should be very interesting. I like how um they lined it up here, especially for like this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where we're gonna see the Royals versus the Reds. That's gonna be fun. Bobby Witt Jr. Against LED La Cruz. I think that's gonna be an electric baseball. I mean, both of them are very fast. Both of them can hit for power, hit for contact if they need to. I mean, that's just gonna be one hell of fun. We also have the Phillies and the Braves, both teams playing very well. An eight game gap separates the two. Um, but it should be fun, especially for on the Brave side. You have Spencer Strider pitching today. I mean, yes, he's kind of struggling, but he just came back. But anyone watch this weekend with Ronald Acuna Jr.? His first two games, he hits a home run. Uh, this dude just, I guess when base professional ball, it's time to be competitive. His brain just turns on. Because, wow, this dude is amazing. I love to watch this guy. He's very fun. He's definitely going to be a future um, star in this coming years. In 12 at bats in 3 games, he's batting .333, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. He just came back a couple of days ago. So this dude is very awesome to watch. I love Philadelphia. Uh, in the last 10 games, they're 9-1. So they're playing really well. Uh, and also so are the Mets, who took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. They play a series against the White Sox and Colorado um, this week. As for the Dodgers, they end up playing the Yankees this weekend. That should be fun. They also play the Cleveland Guardians. And I know Shohei Ohtani has thrown on the mound, so that's good for them. As they lost, still no update on Snell or Glasnow. That kind of worries me a little bit, just because, even if excuse me, swallow wrong. Even if they do, say like this is an experiment. We did this last year. Well, last year it almost got them out of the playoffs. They were almost eliminated from the Padres. But also, same thing with the Mets. The Mets did hit them. Uh, I mean, I know they're so stacked they can put all these guys on, but it's just like the guy in the MLB Network said, Dan Flezak. If you're not gonna pitch for a while, it's really, really gonna hurt you. I think that's might hurt the Dodgers. They have the most used bullpen in all of baseball. Tanner Scott blown another save against the Mets, and that which they end up winning. But still, they are so stacked. But I think the only thing that's really helping them is their hitting. I think that's it. I don't think that pitching is really good. Sasaki's also hurt, and turned to find out he's been doing this his whole career in Japan. Again, that worries me a lot. Glass now hasn't been the same. Blake Snell's average. Kershaw's coming back. I mean, he looks good. But when it comes time from September, October, is this really going to be the team that won the World Series last year? I don't know. That's a couple months away. But like I said, that pitching does scare me. So does the bullpen. Like, I will be worried. The only thing I'm scared of really is the lineup. But we'll have to see with that. Like I said, they take on the Yankees. That should be interesting since it is at Dodger Stadium. We all know what happened at Dodgers last time they played at Dodger Stadium with Judge in right. Not hoping for anything bad. I'm just saying it's gonna be interesting. And Judge is on fire. Uh, starting to fall in love with the guy. Uh, really interesting to watch him. It's fun. It makes the game fun. Um, so we'll see how that goes, and see what goes on. All right, the last thing I want to talk about, and I know some people are gonna have different opinion. I have seen mixed emotions about both of these, on both sides, I should say. And that's Pete Rose. Uh, I mean, we talked about a little bit on our top 10 batting stance uh, with Craig and Al. Um, but I want to talk more about it, which is he is now eligible for the Hall of Fame, but through the community ballot, not the um, writers, the um, the players slash coach and all this stuff. Here's my thing about Pete Rose. He needs to be in. Pete Rose is arguably one of the best players ever to play the game. Over 4,200 hits, 4,256 hits to be exact. The most games played ever in the history of baseball, which is 3,562. And they're not talking about him. Like, people are happy because, yeah, he's finally getting what he deserves. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. He has, like, player wise, one of the best all time. I understand personally he has his issues. Every baseball player has their issues. Whether they want to admit it or not, they've had their issues. Yes, he gambled. Yes, he did some other stuff that's come out. I'm not going to talk about that um, really because, I don't know what's true and what's not. It, you're just hearing a bunch of stories. But it kind of gets me mad when I hear people say, well, I got to go back and relook at the numbers. What is there to relook? I just gave you the stats. This guy is literally no one's ever getting 4,000 hits ever again. No one's touching that record ever again. No one's playing it that many years as Pete Rose ever again. But you need to go back and look at his numbers. That to me just doesn't sound right. And half of those guys have come from the MLB network. And I love the MLB network. I watch it literally 24/7 watch almost every single game. I watch even the off season. But your insiders, Joel Sherman, John Heyman, all said, well, we might have to go and look back and see if he actually deserves it. Not to mention that you also are saying, well, because of his betting and of his gambling, do you not? Anyone who watches the MLB network knows that's BS. Because if you actually sit there and watch the MLB network, MLB Central, I love those guys. But you do have a segment where you do an over or under. Over or under. Francisco Lindor hits gets 2.5 hits. Over or under. Aaron Judge hits 1.5 home runs. You promote fan duels on the MLB network. Same thing with ESPN. They promote DraftKings. They promote FanDuel. They promote anything for ESPN. But you're still going to look at what he did as a non-player. Because Pete Rose knew what was happening, knew the rules, and that's why he should be kept off. No. No. And then there's that other stuff, which, like I said, I'm going to talk about. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't care. Um, Not that I don't care. It's just, I haven't heard it until just recently. So I think I got to look more into it to see if it was actually true or not. But we're going to punish him for off the field stuff. Well, there's been plenty of guys who've done stuff, bad stuff. Probably guys who are still in the Hall of Fame that have done bad stuff. But you rewarded them back then probably because of what they did on the field. So why can't we do that with Pete Rose? Why can't we do that with him? I'm 27 years old, and I know about Pete Rose. I think he needs to be in. I really do. I really think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. It sucks that's probably gonna happen after he's passed away. But I've heard people, even his teammates, who have talked a lot of crap about him. When this news broke out, they asked him, and they said yes, he needs to be in. And also, Shoeless Joe Jackson, who again I think should be in. Uh, I know he's part of the Black Sox scandal after the whole, that whole team. But yeah, he took their money, but he didn't throw the World Series. Because if you actually look at his numbers, he was batting like 430 something with like 8 home runs, something crazy like that. So I mean, if he was throwing the World Series, he did one hell of a job throwing that World Series. He sure had a crazy way of doing it. But I think both of those guys, Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, need to be in the Hall of Fame. It They both deserve it. This weekend, like I said, I think it's gonna be fun. Dodgers, Yankees. That's gonna be a fun series. World Series rematch. And the Baltimore Orioles and these teams, I think are just it's getting ridiculous. But other than that, I'm gonna sign off. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Also, guys, let me know what you guys think of the whole Peace Bro situation. What do you guys think of this? Maybe you have a different opinion on it, but I would definitely love to hear. And also, join if I have my days correct. Join me Friday along with Craig and Al, where we do our top 10 pitching motions. That's gonna be fun. We got bunch of stuff coming on the channel with you guys. I think it's gonna be amazing. So look out for that. And for that, I'll see you all in the next one.